When we think about shaping our cities, we usually picture giant machines, right? Tons of concrete, steel, the whole deal. But what if the most powerful construction crew we have is actually completely invisible? Today, we're diving into a really wild idea, using nature's smallest, tiniest organisms to solve some of our biggest urban problems. Everything from soil erosion to, yes, even flooding.
I know, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, doesn't it? But that's the real question behind a whole new way of thinking. An approach that treats the ground under our feet not as just dead dirt, but as a living, breathing system that we can actually partner with.
Because right now, we have a huge problem. Every single year, we lose billions of tons of topsoil to erosion. Just try to picture that. It's an almost unimaginable amount of our planet's very skin just washing and blowing away, way faster than nature can ever hope to replace it.
Okay, so let's get into this because you might hear soil loss and think it's just a problem for farmers out in the country. But for our cities, this is creating a chain reaction of expensive, dangerous problems that are, a lot of the time, hidden in plain sight. I mean, think about it. All that soil has to go somewhere, right? It ends up clogging our rivers and canals, which means cities have to spend a fortune on constant dredging. It means the land can't soak up water like it's supposed to, so flooding gets way worse. It pollutes our water, leading to fines and violations. And our typical answer, just spend even more money on concrete walls that are basically fighting a losing battle against Mother Nature. But what if there's a better way? Instead of constantly fighting nature, we could just work with it. The solution is to recruit a team of microscopic powerhouses, nature's own civil engineering crew.
Okay, wow, that is a mouthful. Let's just call it living infrastructure. The core idea is actually super simple. We use these very specific teams of microbes and plants to strengthen the soil from the inside out. We're making the land itself stronger, spongier, and a whole lot more stable.
So who's on this microbial A-team? Well, first up, we've got the glue makers. These are special bacteria that produce this really sticky stuff. It's called exopolysaccharides, or EPS for short. It is, for all intents and purposes, a living glue. It binds all the tiny soil particles together into bigger clumps that are way, way harder to wash away. Next up, we have the anchors. These are mycorrhizal fungi, and they form these incredible, vast networks of threads that connect with plant roots. You can think of this massive underground web as a kind of biological rebar, making the whole root system stronger and literally stitching the soil together deep down.
And rounding out the team, we have the shield builders. Cyanobacteria can form this dense, living carpet right on top of the soil. It's called a biocrust. And this crust acts like a natural shield, protecting the soil underneath from the force of wind and rain. It's basically nature's armor plating.
So we've met our microbial super team, but the big question is, how do we actually deploy them out in the real world? Well, that's where the Living Infrastructure Toolkit comes in, and you might be surprised at how simple and low-tech it really is. The whole process really just boils down to 3 easy steps. First, you lay down these biodegradable mats, usually made of coconut fiber or jute. Second, you spray the mats with a special cocktail of those locally sourced microbes we just talked about. And finally, you plant native, deep-rooted seeds right into the mat. And that's it. Nature takes over from there.
And the materials themselves are all pretty much off the shelf. We're talking natural fiber mats, microbes that are cultured from the local soil, and native seeds that are perfect for the area. Even the monitoring is done with simple, cheap tools. This isn't some complex billion-dollar solution. It's designed to be accessible and easy to scale up.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds fantastic in theory, but does it actually work? Well, let's look at the data, because pilot programs have put this exact toolkit to the test in real-world city environments.
So a typical pilot project runs for about 12 weeks, basically a single season. The scientists come in, they take all their baseline measurements to see what they're starting with, then they deploy the toolkit, and they just let nature do its thing. After a few weeks, they come back for the final assessment. It's a really fast and effective way to see if it's working.
And the results for soil strength? They are absolutely remarkable. After just 6 to 12 months, the ground's ability to resist erosion, its shear strength, went up by a massive 50 to 150%. The ground literally becomes stronger, tougher, and more stable.
And the effect on the water quality is just as dramatic. So there's a measurement called turbidity. It's just a fancy way of saying how cloudy and full of sediment the water is. After the treatment, the turbidity in nearby water during storms dropped by 15 to 30%. That's a huge deal. It means less dirt is washing into our rivers, giving us cleaner, healthier waterways.
So the bottom line from all these tests is this. The data is crystal clear. This approach delivers what it promises: stronger ground and cleaner water. And it's all powered by the quiet, invisible work of microbes and plants. And this is so much bigger than just one cool new technique. This represents a fundamental rethinking of how we design and build our cities. It's a completely new playbook for urban infrastructure.
When you put this new approach head-to-head with the old ways, the benefits just pop right out. Look at the cost for a 100-meter stretch of riverbank. The living infrastructure is nearly half the price of a concrete wall in the first year. It also actively pulls carbon out of the atmosphere and creates valuable new habitat. So across the board, cost, carbon, ecology, it's a massive improvement.
This really is the new paradigm. It's about a big shift away from that expensive, high-carbon, brute force way of engineering and moving toward intelligent, low-cost, low-carbon solutions that actually work in partnership with natural systems. It's all about building with nature, not against it. So, the next time you walk past an eroding riverbank or a dusty, barren construction site, just ask yourself this: what if the solution here isn't more concrete? What could this incredible team of tiny engineers build right here in your city?